Good morning. Welcome to day 76. So here I am with Chris this morning, and he's my shuttle driver, and he's bringing me back to the Blackburn Center so I can hike in the rain again because I'm crazy. But I wanted to give you his information. He is the trail boss.
He built the roller coaster.
He built the roller coaster. Can you believe that? That's that crazy trail I was on in the video the day before yesterday. So, so you're the trail boss on the sign?
That's my sign.
Oh my gosh! I didn't realize that.
that
I didn't figure that out. I was so consumed with sadness at seeing my husband leave that it didn't even dawn on me. So this is the trail boss on the sign. He built the roller coaster with his crew. That's awesome. So anyway, I just want to give you his information. I'm going to put it up on the screen. Here's his card, but I'm also going to take a picture. I will put it on the screen so that you know who to call when you're in Harper's Ferry. Is there a region, do you cover from where to where?
I go down into the Shenandoah National Park or up into Duncannon, Pennsylvania.
Oh, that's good to know. That's good
or to airports.
Oh, very good.
Depending.
Depends on the airport.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I highly recommend. We've had a great conversation. He has hiked the Appalachian Trail. His wife also. They're very involved in, as you can tell by the fact that he's the trail boss, they're very involved in the trail and conserving the trail and keeping it beautiful for all of us to enjoy. So I highly recommend you call Chris, the trail boss, AT Shuttles. Okay, Chris is going to tell us the story about the roller coaster.
In the late 60s, through the 70s into the 80s, the AT ran along Virginia State Highway 601 for 15 miles. Because very early years, Myron Avery and his crew had put the trail into with handshake agreement into the woods on either side of 601, and as those owners faded out, new people came in and started putting up no trespassing signs. So the trail ended up, it was a nasty walk along a road along the top of the mountain there. No views, no sidewalks or anything like that. Only one place to get water and spend the night. So eventually in the 80s, the Park Service came in and started buying land, the National Park Service of course, and they bought properties on the west side, and they could only buy a piece of land approximately 1,000 feet wide. That was what was mandated by Congress, who had told the Park Service to buy land to protect the iconic Appalachian Trail. And so once they bought the land, they sent surveyors over. And the surveyor started marking the boundaries on both sides, east side and west side. And then the Park Service advised ATC, okay, we bought the land, so get your local club to go in there and build a trail.
Oh, wow.
And so ATC called our club, which is the Potomac AT Club. Wow, this road is good for us.
Yeah.
And so the club, we set up two crews. Each crew had two leaders. I was a leader of one, and I had a co-leader. And we worked from the north going south.
Okay.
The other crew had two leaders, and then we were all volunteers. Don't misunderstand that.
Of course.
So we started working, and my co-leader and we would meet on a Saturday morning, and first of all starting at the road crossing, and then we would walk in and we'd go to one side, and there was we'd see the yellow marks for the boundary. Then we'd crisscross over to the other side. There's the other boundary. And we would walk backwards and forwards. And around lunchtime, we'd stop, have lunch, discuss what we've seen and where we could put the trail.
Okay.
And then we'd turn around and walk back to the road, hanging flagging tape. The following weekend, the trail crews, the volunteers all turned up, and we started cutting and clipping. And it wasn't ideal, but we were kind of very much confined by where we could build it.
Exactly.
So, also we wanted to get the trail off the road as fast as possible.
Yeah.
So we pushed very quickly, and finally it took us 2 years to get it open. The hikers started coming in, and then we started building the Rod Hollow shelter, and later on the Sam Moore shelter in that area.
Yeah.
And about a month or two after we had made the initial opening, I was up at the Blackburn Trail Center one day looking in a logbook, and I saw an entry there from a hiker, and he said, "Boy, that was a heck of a roller coaster ride I had today." I said, "What the heck's he talking about?" And about another 10 days later, I saw another one that said, "Boy, that really was a roller coaster ride, and I'm glad I stopped here. I was going to walk on for a few more miles, but this was enough."
Yeah.
And then we saw more, and then finally we figured out that talked about all the ups and downs in that new section of trail. I did not. I built it, and there were 4 of us that led the cruise, and I will. The other 3 have either retired or moved away. I'm the last one standing.
Oh my gosh, good for you.
I'm still here, as you can see. We're driving up the mountain on the Appalachian Trail Road going up to Blackburn. I'm still here, maybe not quite as fast as I was back in those years, but still having a good time, and that's what's important.
That is what's important. Oh, I'm so glad you gave me that story about the history of the roller coaster. I think that is so awesome. And, you know, for everybody watching and for anybody coming up behind me that has come up before me that has hiked the AT, now you know the guy responsible for the roller coaster, him and his crew. And that's great.
And how the name came. Good.
And how the name came, yes.
I will say a lot of people think I named it. We did not name it. It was named by some hiker, and I don't even know who that was anymore.
Oh, that is awesome.
It's stuck in there, and now it's in the guidebooks and the maps.
It is. It's in the AWOL's guide and in the Far Out app. It's in everything.
And that's okay. I'm happy to be the person still over here, around here, taking care of it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much. So that steep downhill I came down the other day, I'm going back up to get back onto the AT. What a pleasure it was meeting Chris. I'm a firm believer that people come into our lives for a reason. And I will tell you, that man was put in my life for a reason today. The people here are beyond amazing. Like, truly. The caretaker who helped me the other day with her kindness just came out and wished me a good hike. I'll tell you, Friday when I came in here to this place, after hiking 22 miles, I did the entire roller coaster in the pouring rain. By the time I got here, I was so cold and so wet. I walked down to that building, and then I was going to keep going down the road to meet Jim. And that woman came out and said, I think her name's Julie, but I could be wrong, I'm so sorry. She came out and said, "Hey, where are you headed?" And I told her I'm waiting for my husband. I'm just going to walk down the road to meet him. And she said, "Why don't you come in here and warm up and dry off? I'll make you a cup of tea or a hot cocoa." I'm like, she said, "Come on in." I said, "Okay." So I went in. She had me take my pack off and everything, and she made me a tea. They were just taking warm brownies out of the oven. And there's a hiker cabin over there that had a wood stove going. That was the fire I could smell when I was coming down into here on Friday. And I'll tell you, the psychological effect of smelling a fire was incredible. It was truly a warm, comforting feeling, even though I was freezing. So I came in, they brought me over to the hiker cabin. I had a brownie, and as you saw, I met back up with Rental and Unicorn, they are so cute. I love those guys. But that was a really rough day. I've been up on the ridge that I'm hiking back up to. I couldn't even pull my phone out to show you what I was experiencing because it was just all I could do to keep my head where it needed to be to get down to gym. And it was a really hard day. I cannot do those high miles in this kind of weather, and I'm not going to. I'll hike, but I cannot hike that many miles. I gotta keep it lower miles, and I gotta be somewhere warm and dry at night if I can be. Today, when I left gym at the hotel in Katahdin, I was barely holding it together. I don't know that it's fully sunk in yet either, but talking to Chris about the trail and life and all that lifted me up this morning. And when I get to that first white blaze, that gratitude, that feeling of gratitude will be absolutely genuine and true. Yeah, gratitude. Absolutely gratitude. Even on a day like today, I have so much gratitude in my heart. Truly. Let's get this done. Hope you're all having a beautiful Sunday. This is what it's doing down south. I don't know what it's doing back home. I think it's raining up there too. I'm pretty sure Jim's gonna have an unpleasant drive home today, unfortunately. Chris told me that my biggest uphill was the one I climbed from the Blackburn AT Center back up to the AT. He said it's mostly ridge walking today, which I have no problem with. I did a lot of resupply yesterday, so that's why my movie from yesterday, or my video from yesterday, is so short. It's really about getting my head back in the game for through hiking unsupported and figuring out food, gear, what gear I want to swap out, what gear I don't. So I did swap out a big piece of gear. It's gonna be cold at night the next week anyway, 30s, 40s, but I did decide to swap out my sleep pad. So I got rid of my Thermarest Neo X Therm, which is probably one of the warmest you can get on the market. For the Thermarest Neo Air Uber Light to lighten up my pack. I kept everything else. My sleep clothing, everything that I've been wearing all winter for sleep. And my quilt, my liner, everything else is the same. So I've only swapped that out. And I still have my accordion style sleep pad that'll go under my air mattress. So hopefully that'll keep me warm. It should. And it'll also save me a ½ pound, which is good. So I took on some extra shorts and t-shirts, but they weigh next to nothing. So I don't think that that's gonna make a huge difference. I also went with an Anchor 20,000 I was carrying 2 Nitecore 10s for my power banks. I decided to buy a 20 anchor, and I will also keep one of my Nitecores. So I'll, in essence, have 30,000 for charging my stuff. I just find sometimes I'm cutting it way too close. So rather be safe and have the extra capacity and carry a little extra weight on that side. So I'm swapping pounds for pounds or ounces for ounces, but I think I'm making the decisions where I need to. So we'll see. I'm not sure how much I'm going to video today. Terrain is a little sketchy just because of the rain and everything and the wet rocks. I am wearing shorts and a t-shirt with my alpaca rain pants and raincoat like I was the other day. I'm carrying my actual Hyperlight pack with all my food and toiletries because I wanted to start carrying some extra weight today before I carry my full pack tomorrow. And I'll tell you, 3 days worth of food, that's heavy. I might need to make some changes tonight. We'll see. But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at today. Don't expect to see many people out here or any people today, but we'll see. It's beautiful. I just, you know, as long as I can stay warm. I don't care if I'm wet. I just want to be warm. The other thing I just want to say is how much I love my family. I've been able to catch up with everybody over the past couple weeks and FaceTime for some much needed love, at least for me. My parents a few times, my sister, my kids, and my grandkids. So that's been awesome. Like, I can't even tell you. It's gold. It's gold, Jerry, it's gold. Oh well, Seinfeld, in case you weren't sure what that was. Jim reminded me that my phone is water resistant and that I have a water resistant case. So that's why I have my phone out. I'm not gonna be able to hit any buttons because my hand's wet and the phone is wet, but that's all right. If you haven't done that rain challenge I gave you, get out there and do it. Go stand in the rain in the woods and listen to it hitting the leaves and the ground. And then go in and make yourself a hot tea or a hot cocoa or a coffee and warm up. But get out there. Enjoy. It is a beautiful thing. It nourishes our land, gives us water, gives our plants life. It's a good thing. Conditions today on the Appalachian Trail are wet. That's the trail. This is excellent. It just doesn't matter at this point. Probably more dangerous trying to avoid the water than to actually just walk through it. Just one of those days on the AT. Just one of those days. No joke. This is no joke. I wish it was. Look at me. I'm drenched. It's only like 10 o'clock in the morning. Like, this is, what do I do? What do I do here? Oh my gosh, look at that. That's where I came from. That's where I'm going, peeps. I need a boat. I need a damn boat. I have a question for you. How do I eat the rest of my Jersey Mike's Italian sandwich in this? Huh? How am I supposed to eat the rest of my Jersey Mike's Italian sub sandwich in the rain? I don't mind it if it's soggy from all the sauce that they put on it, but I don't even see me taking it out of the bag today. I don't know how I would. Oop, blow down. Oop. Hold on. I heard like a stick branch break or something. Is probably a deer, probably, because I'm making all this noise about my Jersey Mike sub. I heard it again. It's so hard to see anything with the hood on because there's birds everywhere. It's so hard to see anything out of my peripheral vision with the hood on. So this is why I'm thinking I might get an umbrella. Well, whatever it is. Hopefully I'm just startling it and it's running off in the opposite direction. Oh, goodness. Yeah, I don't see a damn thing. Nothing behind me, right? Yeah, no. Oh, goodness. I'm going to let you go. You could probably tell by the beginning of today's video that I was holding it together by a thread before saying goodbye to Jim and Katahdin. I wasn't sure how this was going to go because last time they left, it just ripped a hole in my heart. And after them being here for 2 weeks, I was concerned about hiking in the rain and just the mental pressure that that puts on me, in addition to saying goodbye. I'm grateful to Chris for the conversation in the van this morning that helped me focused my attention elsewhere instead of on saying goodbye, and instead talking about hiking. And as you can see, we had a great conversation, and I learned a lot about him and the roller coaster, which was incredible. And then when I started hiking, I just started to, and I know it might sound a little cliche, or it might sound like BS. I don't know what it's gonna sound like to you, but I'm bearing my heart here, and I'll tell you right now that once I truly shifted my focus onto all that I had to be grateful for, it completely turned my head around. It literally did a flip. Focusing on gratitude and all of the things that I have to be grateful for, which are plenty. Even though I was experiencing a feeling of loss by saying goodbye and sadness, I shifted my focus onto everything I had to be grateful for. We had 2 weeks together. Like, that's crazy. How many people get to do that when they're doing this? I'm not sure, but I can tell you right now that having that time together and all the things that came with that, from a relationship standpoint, strengthening, re-strengthening, reinforcing, rediscovering, just like I have such profound appreciation for my husband and all that he does, is doing, has done, and continues to do. The puppy was amazing. He's like the best doggy daddy. She's so much more confident, and she's smart, and she and he have such a beautiful, strong bond. It's wonderful. It's really, really beautiful. And she was like, after that medicine from the drive down wore off, she was like right back with me. Mommy, mommy, I love you, I love you. It was wonderful. I was worried. I just didn't know how she was going to respond, being a puppy, and you know, but he's been consistent with her and working with a trainer and bringing her to daycare and the vet and like really doing everything. Like I said the other day or a couple weeks ago, there's so much that he's doing to keep things going at home, like even house projects. It's amazing what he's getting done. I'm just blown away. So instead of sitting here today and crying in the rain, which as you can see has let up for at least a time, hoping to finish my hike before it starts back up again, but you know, instead of crying in the rain all day and being sad and feeling sorry for myself, I'm not going to do that. I'm sad they're gone, but I'm going to see them again. Especially because guess what? I'm hiking home. I'm hiking home. I am going to see them again soon. I'm going to see my parents. I'm going to see my sister. I'm going to see everybody. And I can't wait. I have so much to be happy about and thankful for. And that's just where I'm going to keep my focus. Gratitude, attitude. Oh, gratitude. Okay. Sometimes I am late to the party, I'll tell you. But I love that. Gratitude, attitude. Gratitude. Oh my gosh. I love it. Anyway, I hope it's not too cheesy for y'all, but it is apropos on this Sunday, a day of worship for some of us who choose to, and that's okay if you don't, but I choose to every day, but it feels a little extra, I don't know, a little extra on a Sunday. Probably just because of the way I've been raised and conditioned. The way they programmed me. But thank you all for being part of this journey. I am very grateful for everything. What's going on here? I also figured before it starts pouring rain out, I should eat my Jersey Mike's. This is all that's left because I couldn't eat the whole thing. And I have to say, I couldn't help but think of Maggie, Prue, Jeff, and Jay when I went and ordered my Jersey Mike's, because that's what we all used to do for lunch every so often for a treat. And I think it was Maggie who turned me on to the Jersey Mike's, and I'm not sorry. It is nice to have a little taste from home. And I was able to have a sweet tea with it, so I got a little bit of north and south. Loved it. Would you look at that? That's a damn good sandwich. Would you look at what's above my head? Look at that. Oh my gosh. I'm officially out of Virginia and officially in West Virginia. Woo-hoo-hoo! Another state, baby. I'm going to Maine. I'm going to Maine. Look at that. Look at that. Woo! Boy, did I eat that sandwich at the right time. Holy cow. The sky's opened right back up again. It's a little lighter right now, but it was downpouring. Getting closer to Harper's Ferry, officially, from an AT standpoint. Just to explain the logistics of me getting to the Appalachian Trail Conservancy Center and registering yesterday and not today. So I took a 0 yesterday. We were staying in Harper's Ferry. So when Jim picked me up Friday night at the Blackburn Center, Friday night at the Blackburn Center, we went back to our lodging in Harper's Ferry. I took a 0 on Saturday because he was leaving Sunday morning. In order to have the flexibility and everything and a car to get everything done, we decided to do all of the resupply errands and things like that on Saturday on my 0 day. So that today, Sunday, when Jim left, I could hike. So I went to the ATC on Saturday before I officially hiked into Harper's Ferry, but it's not a problem, it's not a big deal, and I didn't break any rules. I'm hiking into Harper's Ferry now. The difference is I'm walking right to where I'm staying for the night, and I don't have to go out again for the rest of the day in the rain. I can reevaluate all the things that are going in my backpack, because I'll tell you right now, all I'm carrying is my food, toiletries, and my essentials, like my emergency stuff. And my pack is really heavy. So, but 3 days of food for me, with the amount of food I'm eating nowadays, is heavy. Jim dropped all my other stuff off at where I'm staying, and so I'm gonna pack everything and see where I end up. I'm just gonna lay everything out too and reassess what I need. So this is why I am today officially in West Virginia and officially in Harper's Ferry. So in case that was confusing to some, I hope that clears it up for you. Still pouring, and as you can hear, there's a big highway next to me that I think I need to hike along for a bit to get to town. Yep. This should be interesting. Okay, so the trail looks like it goes underneath. This is nice. I guess it's a good day for a trail run too. Not just hiking. Anyway, so we're going under here. This is better than having to cross the road. So, grateful for this. I love it when people aren't afraid to get out in the elements and do what they love to do. I mean, that's awesome. I will, however, qualify that with the fact that normally when I was back home, you couldn't pay me to leave the house on a day like this. Just so you know. This is different for me. I've been seeing these flowers everywhere on the ground. It's the first time I'm seeing them in a tree. They're beautiful. They smell really good too. So I am crossing what I believe is the Potomac River. I could be wrong. Won't be the first time. I like that there's a sidewalk here. This is super. But there's the river. It looks really big. Isn't nature magnificent? Like, look at those trees. That's pretty wild. The river almost smells like the ocean. Beautiful. Look at these trees. Like, how are they growing out there? That's magnificent. What do you think the people are saying in their cars when they drive by me? You think they're saying to themselves, she must be batshit crazy out in this weather doing that? But I got a smile on my face. So I'm doing what I love. I am. Take that to the bank. This is one of my favorite trees, wisteria. I have one at home, but it's purple. The flowers are so fragrant. The first time I saw wisteria was in Italy in the spring, and I fell in love with it. Oh my gosh, these smell so good.